Gather round, dear listeners, and get cozy, for a legendary tale from the heart of England is about to unfold. In the rolling hills and forests of medieval England, a hero's journey is waiting to be discovered. This classic tale is part of the beloved Robin Hood collection, filled with adventure and bravery. Let's begin our journey with the Pinder.
The Pinder. One fine morning, Robin Hood, his right-hand man Little John, and Will Scarlet walked on the main road looking for some adventure. They had walked through the forest and were now in the open country. Suddenly, they could hear a loud voice singing merrily, and they stopped to listen. The song was about a baron, a knight, and a squire, and the person was singing it in a loud, happy voice. The three outlaws walked a little further and came upon the singer, who was a stout, jolly person. He was seated on the ground and was leaning against a tree. "Oh, I know this chap," said Little John. "His name is George Green. He lives in Wakefield and works as a Pinder." A Pinder was a man who ran an animal pound and took care of all the stray animals that roamed the villages. "I enjoyed his song," said Robin, "but he's not the kind of man that I am seeking. Let us go this way," he said, and turned to walk down a path to his right. But they had walked only a short distance when the Pinder stopped singing and loudly ordered them to stop. "Stop where you are and turn back," he shouted. "You have left the highway and are walking through a field of corn where you have no business to be." Robin was taken aback by the order. "He sure is bold," he said to his men in a low voice, "for we are three, and yet he does not hesitate to give us orders." "Yes, he is famous for his skill with the sword and buckler. I heard him when I lived in the village." "Then let me test his skill," said Robin. "If he is as good as you say, I will ask him to join my band and pledge his loyalty to me." "How will you test him, master?" asked Will Scarlet curiously. "Let us do this," replied Robin. "The three of us will rush at him angrily, as if furious with his order. If he will confront us without running away, then he is definitely a man worth having in our group." The Pinder chose this minute to repeat this order. "Stop standing there and whispering among yourselves," he shouted. "Get out of the cornfield and back to the highway." "How dare you order me?" shouted Robin right back. "I think it is time I taught you a lesson. Let me crop your ears from your head." He drew his sword and rushed at the Pinder, followed by his two loyal men, who were also holding swords and crying out, "Yes, master! Crop off his ears and show him!" Seeing the three strong men rushing towards him, the Pinder turned and ran. It was not to escape, but to reach a thick tree against which he leaned and placed one leg on a stone. In a flash he had drawn his sword with one hand, and his buckler was ready in the other. When the three reached him and struck him with their swords, there was only a loud ring of metal, as the Pinder had deftly lifted his buckler and defended himself against the blows. For a few minutes, the only sound that could be heard was of the blades clashing as the three men of the forest fought against the stout, skilled Pinder. Robin was soon satisfied that George Green was indeed a skilled sword fighter and a brave man. He never hesitated to include such men in his troop. "Wait! Hold your swords!" he shouted. "This chap is one of the best Pinders that I have tested with my sword." The Pinder and the other two outlaws lowered their swords and stood leaning against them, panting and gasping for breath. Though the Pinder looked to be resting, he was warily eyeing the outlaws and was ready to lift his sword and buckler in case they tried to attack him again. "Come, my brave Pinder, and join my band," invited Robin. "I am impressed with your skills and would like you to follow me." "Where to?" asked the Pinder. "Oh, to deep within the Sherwood forest, where the king's deer roam freely. The wind rushes through the trees, and my followers live a jolly life in the fresh air." "And who are you?" asked the Pinder curiously. "I am Robin Hood," came the reply. "Oh, I have been waiting to meet you and pledge my fealty to you," said the Pinder happily. "Lead the way, and I will gladly follow." "I will," said Robin, "and these two will be your companions. Meet my men, Little John and Will Scarlet." "So it is indeed, Little John," said the Pinder, shaking hands with him. "I have seen you in the Wakefield village before you decided to be a man of the forest." The Pinder had some food packed, which he opened up and shared with the three outlaws. They sat together under a tree and ate it. Once they were done, Robin stood up and said to them, "Stay right here and watch the road. I will walk a little further and look for some adventure. If I do not find any, I shall come back immediately." "And what if we find no adventure? Then what do we do?" asked Little John. "Oh, then you may come and find me," said Robin with a smile. So the two outlaws and the Pinder sat together talking, and Robin continued on his way down the road. After walking for about 2 miles, the road he was walking on joined another wide road, and Robin stood at the crossroads to see if anyone would pass by. A little later he saw a beggar walk towards him with long, even steps. Though the beggar saw Robin, he did not react or stop, but went on marching ahead without missing a stride. Robin decided to stop him and have a word with him. Join us in the next episode when we hear about the hilarious encounter that Robin Hood and his men have with a beggar.
As we conclude the Pinder from our Robin Hood collection, remember that kindness and cleverness can often lead to the most rewarding outcomes. Download the Story Waves app from Apple or Android app stores to explore more stories from this collection and cultures around the world. A Story Waves subscription costs less than $1 a month, making it one of the most affordable ways to bring quality stories to your family. All new stories are available on the Story Waves app, with the most exciting content only available there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow Story Waves on Instagram, TikTok and Spotify for updates on upcoming content. Thank you warmly for watching.